Hello everyone and welcome to our MX Live TV studio show, this time round 13 of the FIM MX1 MX2 Motocross World Championship. We're on the infield of the Lausitz Euro Speedway at the Lausitz Ring, the circuit 1,500 meters long in what is inside an impressive 3.2 kilometer long tri-oval speedway race circuit. Cars, not motorcycles, not shale. Joined by two of our three guests at the moment. We're just waiting for our third one to arrive, so just had a bit of a rejig. But Petar Petrov, the Kimia Raytec van der Laar Yamaha rider, and Ken de Dycker, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, they're first up. And because MX2 is going to be getting underway in terms of race 2 in about 45 minutes or something like that, we're going to come to Petar Petrov. You can hear me okay? No problems? Yeah, good. Petar, good to see you on the live show. You know, in terms of the championship, before you arrived here, you were 10th place in the series. Are you happy with that? Is that what you expected at the start of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to do better, but the goal is to be top 10, and here I'm 10th. There's still 5 rounds to go, and we can move up, I think, maybe 1-2 places at front with a little bit of luck, but the season is going okay, the last couple of races especially. Before that, not how I want it to be, but considering coming out of injury, it's a plus. I mean, we were getting better every weekend, so it's not a bad season for me so far, so hopefully we can end it really good.
What do you think's changed this year? Is it you? Is it the bike? Because obviously you're back on Yamaha. Is it the team? Or is it all of those things?
I think we changed a lot of things. Changed back to Yamaha. Stick to my physical trainer, and we work now with Marnik Berwoods, so I don't know, I think everything helped me and a little bit confident, so I don't know, it's going okay this year, and we see how it goes.
Just looking at some video here from Latvia, obviously two great rides through the pack, which resulted in 4th overall for you, 4th place, the highest place finish as well for you in MX2. Because you've been doing MX2, what now, for 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah. That's the 4th season now.
Yeah, came in when you were 15 on a Honda, of course,
yeah.
Way back when. But this Grand Prix in Latvia, it's not an easy track there. It's fast, it's difficult to pass, but you found some good moves, and like I say, 4th and a 4th overall. That must have been a personal high for you.
Yeah, I mean, I had the second race a decent start, like 10th, 11th, so I worked up my way to 4th, which was really good, and yeah. I can do, I think, couple of more races like this. Just I need to work on my starts, and I think then everything will be fine. Just those starts.
You mentioned Marnik Berwoods, obviously back at Yamaha, and Marnik in the background. What's he like to work with? What kind of advice is he giving you, and how is he helping you in 2013?
I mean, he has a lot of experience, of course. Many years GP riding, and of course, a couple of times second in the world. So. Mostly with experience and small advices here and there, and I think that's pretty much what helps mostly.
I was at the Italian Grand Prix at Maggiora, and I was in pit lane during their time training on Saturday, pre-qualifying, and I joked with your boss, Hans Corvus, you know, because up till that point you'd put already some impressive performances, charges through the field, Trentino, yeah. For instance, in one race, for instance. And I had a joke with him. I said, man, if Petrov gets a good start, he'd be dangerous. And this is a thing that's holding you back at the moment, isn't it? You know, if you do get a good start, though, if you do start inside the top 10, what do you think is possible?
I don't know. I mean, of course, it's situation, and I'm not pretty much used to be at front. So, like I said, in Latvia I had a decent second race start, so I work up my way to 4th. So maybe if I start top 5, I can finish on the podium, and that's the goal till the end of the season, and at least my goal. So I had 4th, 6th, 7th, whatever. So the next step is I think a podium. Okay.
Brand new track here at the Lausitz Ring. When you arrived on Thursday or Friday, what were your first impressions? And having raced or ridden it and now raced it, have those impressions changed, or has it remained the same, or has it improved slightly?
I mean, the track looks really cool when you look at it outside. It's really nice and jumps and everything. And I thought actually it would be easy, but it's not that easy at all. I mean, it's really bumpy, and with the temperature, it's really makes it really 40 minutes long.
It's like Thailand, the temperature today, isn't it? It's that kind of humidity.
Yeah, the humidity is like today is not so hot, but the humidity is so high that, I don't know, it makes the 40 minutes really long.
In terms of where we are now in the season, we're coming to the last part of the Grand Prix. You know, what is the plan? Because the last 5 Grand Prix, you've had 4 top 10 finishes. So I'm guessing you're coming in a little bit high on confidence. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, of course, when you, from last 5 GPs, finish 4 times top 10 and 1 time top 5. So, I mean, my confidence is growing, and hopefully I can get better and better each weekend. And yeah, I can't wait for Europe, actually.
Another bad start in Moto number 1, but you managed to crack 10th place. Was it difficult to pass, or was it just the heat and you're trying to reserve yourself a little bit?
The track was actually pretty difficult to pass, and I got really tired trying to pass Tonkov. But after that, I just tried to save some energy, and last lap I tried to pass Ferris, but yeah, didn't really work.
Got a couple of questions for you via Twitter. Smurfer, SMYRFA, at Pachetto. Yeah, maybe somebody know or your nickname. Yeah. Your favourite rider is James Stewart. What do you think about the GOAT, greatest of all time, Ricky Carmichael, and his career? Do you think Yamaha should produce a 350 as well? So there's a couple of questions for you to think about.
I mean,
James Stewart, favourite rider. What do you think of Ricky?
I mean, yeah, James is my favourite rider, and Ricky, of course, he's the best, and always will be. I mean, but I don't know, I just love the way James rides, and not the way he crashes, though, but the way he rides. And
so you're pleased he won yesterday?
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. And about Yamaha 350, I mean, every rider is different. Like, you cannot see, for example, Ken on the 350, I think. He's big, and everybody has different style and likes different bikes. I mean, for me, I like riding 450 as well. So 350, it's good if you, for the first year, I mean, stepping up. But after that, I don't know. For me, 450 is a good enough bike, and if the company doesn't want to produce 350, it's their choice.
Yeah. Well, you've still got plenty of time left in MX2 anyway. Another one here as well, Andrew McKinstry. Have you any offers for next year yet? And I'm guessing, or are you going to stay with where you are, with Kimi Räikkönen?
Nothing is sure yet, and still talking only, but yeah, nothing is official.
Okay, well, look, we're going to let Petar Petrov get down to the waiting zone just below the skybox here, because, as we say, time is precious for him at the moment. MX2 Race 2 is going to be going very, very soon. But just wondering if our cameras can pick up on the scenery just around here. This circuit's pretty impressive. So, you know, as Petar Petrov disappears, we will bring Ken de Dycker in. And Ken de Dycker, of course, an MX1 rider, riding for KTM Red Bull Factory Racing. And Ken de Dycker, he's been sat there patiently for the last few moments, and I'm pleased to say my third guest has arrived as well, Steve Dixon, and we'll come to Steve shortly. But Ken de Dycker, you're early. Valentina Ragni said that you won't have a problem with Ken arriving on time. He always likes to be early, and I like that. I like a man who's punctual. Good to see you on the live studio show, by the way.
Thanks. It's good to be here, finally.
Yeah.
I think being on time, it's the most important thing. Better be on time than too late always.
Steve Dixon just laughing over my shoulder there because he's never on time. How many planes have you missed, Steve?
A few, but I've caught a lot.
That's just this year as well. But yeah, Ken, coming back to you. Seems like Big Ken is back. Winning races, getting podiums. Must be pretty good about yourself right now.
Yeah, it's been a good season so far, and still fighting for that top 3 in the championship. So just keep focusing on the next races and see where we at. And yeah, I had some podiums, but always bounce into my teammate, who is still a little bit better there, and just having fun. And I think that's the most important thing to do.
When I was thinking about the live show this week, I was kind of going over your career, and I was thinking it's a little bit like mine in some respects. You know, burst onto the scene, then disappeared for a little bit, you know, then you're back again, almost like a second chance. Again, what's changed for you? Was it the fact that you got back on a factory team last year, and maybe even signing an extension on that now that keeps you for another couple of years, or is it that you're older? What is it? What's changed with you?
Yeah, it's mostly the structure around you. Just having the bike and having the team in the week there, and in the winter that changes really much. You need to be training every day and with the bike 2 times, 3 times, but you have to be possible to have a 40-minute moto during the week, and that's the best thing for the weekend.
Just looking at some images over here, some of those race wins. Valkenswaard winning a moto there. Were you surprised that, I guess, growing up in the sand, you weren't surprised at your performance, but were you surprised taking a win there?
No, I was feeling good already the whole winter. I've been training in Sardinia really hard, doing 3 times 40 minutes on one day in deep sand, most deepest sand that I've ever been in. And I was feeling 100%. Just 2 weeks before the GPs came, I got sick, and then I didn't do so good Qatar and Thailand, but then after I felt perfect again, and the results showed, and I just had a little crash in the first moto in Valkenswaard, and that kicked me also a little bit off the pace.
5 podiums so far in 2013, all of them second overall. In terms of you being there, of course it's a personal achievement again to be back there, not just once but on a regular basis. You've just mentioned the amount of work that you put in the winter. Heard through the grapevine you were training a lot with Tony. Were you surprised at how hard he trained in the off-season compared to maybe what you did, or was there no real change in that? How, maybe just fill us in a little bit on your off-season program, how much more you had to work maybe?
I did really much the same program off the bike, but then on the bike I stepped it up. Like I said already, 3 times 40 sometimes on one day, and the next day again 40 or 50. So, but if you do that 2 weeks on the road, then you feel so much better, and that's the main difference. And I think with Tony riding together, we don't really race like get close, but we go out on the track. He goes one part, and I'm on the other part, but for sure you look at each other where you at. So
and you try to keep each other in sight.
Inside, just like I do always on the races. I look always back and everywhere around the track. So that changes a lot. Just doing those 40 minutes with a bike that it's full factory and 100%.
I was looking again as well, because 5 second place finishes. Surely you must be thinking it's possible to win a Grand Prix this year. The last one was at Teushenthal on your birthday in 2010 on a Richie Yamaha, 2 wins on what was a very close Grand Prix finish, certainly with Tony breathing down your neck anyway. Can you win again this year? Is it possible to be, if everybody's on the track, do you feel that you can win an overall Grand Prix even if Tony's in the race?
Of course. I still believe in it, and I think I've been close, really close, and just it's just being 2 times good starts, and that helps a lot, and that's what I'm struggling a little bit at. It's top 10 or it's 15, but it's always harder when you have to pass a few, and it costs energy, but I think I'm strong enough to do it, and I think Leerup is coming up. I hoped to be on 3rd or 2nd this first moto here, but I hope the second moto is going to be better. This year I always had a second moto much better than the first, so hopefully this one again.
You mentioned training with Tony Cairoli, but you're good friends as well, aren't you? Obviously that was well documented last year when you joined the team, and the atmosphere within the team itself feels pretty good anyway. I stayed 3 months almost in Rome and everything, and also a month back I think we went together, me, him and my training mechanic on vacation for 3 days. So it's just having fun and being together like a team. I think that's also important. You are always together, so if you don't have a good atmosphere, it's also it doesn't work then. What's he like as a person? At the races he seems pretty serious, although Thursday, Friday when he arrives he seems pretty relaxed, but there's a point, isn't there, when he switches into race mode. But what's he like to hang out with, Tony Cairoli?
For me, I think it's the best one that's around for now and for all the time that I've ever been on the GPs. I had some few years already, so had so many different people, but having him here, it's nice. Just like last night, we were at the bar here drinking till 11, 12. So yeah, just having fun and doing things together.
Drinking Red Bull, of course.
Yeah, Red Bull and nothing in there with Red Bull.
Yeah. We're just going to look at the screen for a moment, Ken. I'm being told in my ear we've got a special clip coming up here, so we're just going to see exactly what that is. Remember that?
I remember it, yeah.
Were you aware that was who it was?
Yeah. You didn't get it when I threw it back?
I don't know. I don't think we did. I just think, maybe. But he's a fun guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I guess at the end of the season, he knows how to relax and party and that kind of thing, which is important.
Yeah, and also in the week, I think. We do things together, play football, go jet skiing, lots of things. So it's good to have him around, and also it fits into the team. Everybody's like that.
All right, well, look, good to see that you're enjoying yourself. Got a couple of questions here for you as well via Twitter, by the way. Smeysg, SMEYSG. Where did your nickname Keno come from? And would you ever ride a Grand Prix with a 350? And do you think you can end second again in the World Championship this year, I guess?
Yeah, the nickname, it came from my nephew, started saying it, and then everybody picked up on it, so that's why it stayed. I don't know if it just came up with it and just named it, so 350, never rode it, still not. Just one time in Rome, my start clip broke, so I took Tony's bike for 2 times for a start, but I think also for KTM it's not really interesting to put me on 350. I'm the bigger guy, so need to be on a 450, but the championship, yeah, I believe in getting second, but first is the goal to get the podium and take a win.
And another question as well from Boxer Short, spelled BOXERSHORTJE, so I'm guessing that's a Belgian pronunciation or spelling. Guess riders have familiar numbers. Why the number 9?
When I started with saddles, I finished 9th in the championship 2 times in a row. So then all the people say keep 9, and never switch it. So also the fan club is K9 units, like the dog thing. So I think that's a little bit cool to have it. So I think I'm gonna stick with it, or maybe change it. You never know.
Okay, well look, Ken de Dycker, I'm going to let you go back to the KTM hospitality, get yourself cooled down and prepared for MX1 Race 2, and all the best for the second race.
Thanks.
Like I say, maybe you can get on the podium this weekend in the GP at what is a pretty interesting track, to say the least. Yeah,
it is.
Technical. Okay, well look, we're going to let Ken disappear, and we'll bring in Steve Dixon as well. Now, Steve Dixon is promoter of the MXGP at Matterley Basin, and good to have him here, but also his regular job, his day job, is running the Monster Energy Yamaha team in MX2. Steve, good to see you again. 2 of your 3 riders inside the top 12, Dean Ferris and Mel Pocock. Happy with everything so far? Ignore the first race for now.
Yeah, I mean, they're going well. I mean, it was a pity because Mel whole shot and Dean was second. Mel crashed on the first lap, so went from first to 20th, and Dean crashed sort of 3 or 4 laps to go, so he was looking for a podium and then ended up with the 9th. So.
What was it, just a loss of concentration from Dino in that first race?
Yeah, he said he just made a mistake. He changed his line and just washed out and then crashed, used a lot of energy picking the bike up, and then crashed sort of 2 corners later. Just not fatigued, but you know how it is picking up the bike in this weather, and with everyone sort of passing you by, you start to panic.
Yeah, because then you realise, well, how far have I gone back? And
you've just done like nearly 40 minutes in second place, and then you've just chucked it away. disheartening.
And frustrating for him as well, I guess. But Dean started the Grand Prix, you know, in good shape, didn't he? Second overall at the first round in Qatar. Unfortunately for him, he picked up an injury just before the Grand Prix in the Valkenswaard in the Netherlands, collarbone injury. Of course, that's frustrating for a rider as a team manager, you know, when you're sort of third in the championship, which he was at the time going into Valkenswaard. But, you know, in that respect, you know, tough pill to swallow from both sides.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we took Dean late on in the season, and, you know, we didn't really know what to expect. We worked hard with him and worked hard with the bike. So, you know, we're pretty pleased, well, really pumped to come out of the first race second and, you know, end up in third position for his injury. So it was a, you know, position we've been used to before from the riders beforehand. But the crash, as you know, once you've been up there, you don't want to go back down again. So it was a bit of a long slog to come back from injury, you know, especially when we tried to ride Valkenswaard. You know, a collarbone injury is, as you know, some people can ride like a week later, and but the damage was a little bit more serious. But, you know, we're back and we've had podium since, so it's good.
Is that why he seems to have taken a little bit of time to get back on track then and find that good form? I know he got on the podium again in Portugal, and then again last week in Finland 2 weeks ago. But after that, there was that first attempt at a comeback was just a little bit inconsistent. After Portugal, inconsistent. Maybe shed some light on that. I guess the first bit was the injury.
Yeah, I mean, you know, once the season starts, you know, it's non-stop, and every single day of rest and training and bike time and setup is important. You know, as you saw with Romain Fevrier, he was going well at the beginning. You know, he got injured, and now he's come back and he's had a few more crashes. You know, the guys are all going fast, and you know, it's hard to, if you lose, you know, a month on training and setup, that's, you know, that's quite a setback. But yeah, we're getting back there now, and obviously France, he had a bit of a problem after sort of winning the race on Saturday. So yeah, I mean, we hope for a good run into the end of the season.
Well, when he got injured, it looked like Mel was going to pick up the gauntlet, 7th overall in Holland. But again, it's been 7th 3 times, but not as consistent as you'd want to be, maybe?
No,
or is he all right?
No, I mean, you know, Mel was European champion last year, and I expected him to step up to the game a bit more. He's been training hard with Tommy. You know, I think maybe he puts too much pressure on himself, you know, which is also quite a difficult part of, you know, being a motocrosser, is to like be able to, you know, just be happy with yourself and be relaxed and not put that pressure on yourself, because, you know, so many riders can ride fantastic during the week, come a race, they go to pieces, and, you know, you just got to believe in himself, and what he's doing is correct. I mean, he's still only 20. I mean, it's just, you know, with Jeffrey and Ken Roxon, you know, they've set a precedence of young riders, but, you know, as you remember with Tortelli, you know, every so often you get a young rider, and it's not normal to have them that young. So I think you just got to be confident with what you're doing, and you know, take the correct path in your career.
He lives with Tommy Searle, doesn't he, in Derby? But is he? Do you think that's a good idea, having lived there? Because strikes me as being a bit of a homeboy, not a mummy's boy. I know Dad's probably watching at home, but you know what I mean? It's one of those, isn't it? You know, because he's training there, they're riding there, and that kind of thing. So from that side of thing, that's great, because he's got somebody he can go ride with, and he's got somebody that he can train with, who also was responsible for training James Dobb when he won a world title. He trains Leon Haslam in World Superbike. Sam and Alex Lowe's also world and British Superbike riders. So there's a good stable of riders there where you can all spur each other on.
Yeah, I mean, but ultimately you're out on the track on your own, and as you know in the past, you know, you need that inner belief and self-motivation to get up in the morning to train hard and do it yourself. Yeah, that's my belief. You know, that's how I drive every day, and that's how it used to be. You know, when you're out on that track and it's just you against 39 other riders, you've only got yourself to count on, and that's where you need the strength. You know, yeah, it's a mixed feeling. It's different training than last year. Not so much with his trainer, but with the surroundings. And I feel last year, as you say, when he was at home and in a more relaxed atmosphere, and being able to not solely concentrate on motocross, you need some downtime, and that downtime for Mel was, you know, going and make a Jeep or something till 12 o'clock at night and go out and, you know, rally it around the farm. And yeah, I think he needs to step back a little bit.
Got another rider, Maxime Dupre. Pleased with his progress this year, because obviously at the beginning of last year, him and Mel were challenging for the European Championship, and then he had one mistake here and then a crash there, and then suddenly he was off the trail, wasn't he? But, you know, he looked like the French Grand Prix where he could have suffered from nerves, stepped it up, got a second in the qualifying race, but then only came away with 11th overall. But that seems to be his story, doesn't it, so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Maxime was part of a Yamaha Europe program, and you know, we were the team to accept him as an MX2 rider. I mean, Max has fantastic style, and you know, I don't quite know what motivates him, you know, in a GP yet. I think he's quite a young rider in his mind as well, and I think his time will come in like a year or two. You know, he has, like you say, flashes of brilliance. Today, you know, he passed Tonkov, and it looked like he was going forward, and then, you know, a little crash, and then it's, you know, the results are not happening. So in the background, it's building up, but you know, it just needs to come to the fruition of what he did in his youth.
How tough is it running a team of 5 riders, because you've also got Ryan Houghton and Magne Klingsheim in European? Yeah,
I mean, it's no problem at all. I mean, you know, we have fantastic backing from Monster and the Yamaha, and also Bike It with Cosworth. You know, we have such a good solid background of technicality that Ben Popplewell, our engine guy, who used to be a mechanic for me for 12 years now, you know, he's such a solid guy in what he does, and it gives everyone around, you know, the mechanics good confidence. And yeah, I think we have a good solid program to be able to keep those bikes on track. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's not over the job.
Well, on top of that, you are organising for the second time the motocross, the MX Festival at Matterley Basin, but not the first or second time that you've ran the British Grand Prix. Last year, 350 riders took to the track for the Riders Parade, but how stressful was running that event anyway on that scale? Because it's not just MX1, MX2 and a support race of MX3 or MX Women. It was those 4 classes plus 65, 85, 125, 250 European and amateur class. And this year you've got the 150 European Hondas, who had their debut championship ride this weekend. Perfect weather conditions last year, which we hope for again this year, of course. But, you know, big event.
Yeah.
How much of that time does that take of you, like, I guess, from now until then?
I mean, you know, I've always been a hard worker, and, you know, a lot of my work's been taken away from, you know, by Cosworth and Ben and Olins. So, you know, I mean, I was doing such long days, you know, tuning and stuff like that. So,
I know.
So, I mean, Ben has, like I say, we've taken on more staff. Ben and we have Nick at the workshop full time. You know, they do a fantastic job. You know, sometimes it's a pleasure for me to get out into the workshop, but, you know, the days are gone of me harassing them, you know, day in, day out. And, you know, as I say, they've got on, and they can run the show, you know, fantastically. So, you know, it leaves a big gap for me to fill. And, yeah, I mean, the GP, I mean, actually on the weekend, the GP is not stressful for me.
Just everything before.
It's all you know, in England, there's so much health and safety and licensing and everything, and, you know, ensuring there's enough water and electricity and parking and first aid and security and all that red tape that, you know, when Ustream come and take over the show, you know, for the track side, I mean, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
But organising all the marshals and everything beforehand is, you know, it's hard work. I mean, it's just myself and my son Brad and his girlfriend Leah that are, you know, the backbone of the GP.
Yeah. It was a success last year. Are you hoping for the same again? Obviously, we'll probably have more riders.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like, you know, people think of Fox Hills and that as the home of, you know, British motocross and stuff like that, but actually Matterley's been home of the Grand Prix more times since 2000 than any other circuit. Including
the nations as well, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this will be the 5th time they're back at Matterley for, you know, for the 4th GP and also the nations. Yeah. So everything's building on. You know, we build each year and try and improve for the riders first, for the fans, and also for the infrastructure.
Okay, well, look, we are out of time here, unfortunately, so hopefully the MXGP Festival at Matterley Basin goes well. I'm sure it will be a success. Just while we're here, got maybe 20 seconds. Tickets, just motocrossmx1.com, or is there a designated website?
Yeah, www.britmxgrandprix.com.
BritMXGrandPrix.com. Get your tickets, and there are packages?
Yeah, there's all sorts on there, VIP, everything, and I say tickets are going well. I think it's going to be a really good crowd. Looks like Tommy's going to take his first win there, so we'll be rooting for everyone.
That'd be nice. He won MX2 last year. Right, we are out of time here, so thanks to my guests, Steve Dixon, Petar Petrov, Ken de Dycker. See you next week at Lockett in Czech Republic. Bye for now. Bye.